Hello, this is a short video to walk you through how to use the Map Reference Layers application embedded in the MEDIN portal. If you're starting from the MEDIN website, then to access the MEDIN Data Discovery portal, go to the Data tab and click Find Data. This is the portal homepage, and the Reference Layers app can be accessed here on the map on the left-hand side, and also here down in the right-hand corner, Map Reference Layers. Depending on the device you're using, you may need to slide away the main page to a full view of the window using the left and right arrows in the center of the screen, here. For those who aren't familiar, the term reference layer refers to a digital map overlay that can be added to an online map. This is useful to help in searching for data. These layers are supplied via a link that can be retrieved through this app, or else can be uploaded as files. We call these Web Map Services layers, or as we'll refer to them here, WMS layers for short throughout this video. WMS layers are an important resource, and we have an ever-expanding library of layers for you to use. At the top of the window, when you click on Map Reference Layers, there are default layers that are already applied to the map. The ones that are switched on are OpenStreetMap, EMODNet Coastline, and EMODNet Bathymetry. EMODNet, for those who are not familiar, is the European Marine Observation and Data Network. If these are turned off, then the map is blank. We have provided a few others as well. The International Council for the Exploration of the Seas, otherwise known as ICES, Statistical Rectangles and Areas, and Marine Strategy Framework Directive, Article 4, Atlantic Subregions. When you load your layers, do give it a little time, as sometimes it takes time to load up. When you have a myriad of layers at any one time, you can use the opacity sliders here to alter the image to suit you. So I'll just move those slightly so you can see the change in the map. Below the default layers are available layers. These are WMS layers that have been supplied to the MEDIN portal via metadata records, and we've split these down into categories to help with browsing, and there's also a search box to help you pin down your search. So I will just put dogfish, and it's returned 4 marine biodiversity layers that you can select and load onto the map. So I'm going to run through a few examples for you. The first one shows data represented as ICES tiles. So I'll just remove that and go back to the Marine Biodiversity tab. And I will load up spatial variation in size composition of demersal fish in Scottish waters from 1999 to 2008. So I tick the box and then the layer is displayed on the map, and it shows up as a list of default layers too, at the top here. You can close the reference layer window and see your map more fully and open it back out again, and it should be exactly the same. So as I said, this data is arranged over an ICES tile area. So if we click back on the ICES statistical rectangles, these will load up and we can see the names of the tiles. To see the data associated with the tile, then go back to the window and click on the radio button just next to your layer, the little round one next to the checkbox, and then select Identify Map Object so that the button goes blue, and then you can click on the tile and see the data associated with that in the feature information box that pops up. The second example is data represented as polygons. So we're going to look at the British Geological Survey offshore bedrock polygons. This is the first one under the marine geology category. If I select it, it now comes to the top of the list. And it is over the top of the ICES rectangles because it is at the top of the list. You can move these layers around to layer up your map how you want to see things. So we've seen so far tiles and polygons. If I go back to the bedrock here and select the radio button and drag it to the top so that it's at the top of the IC's rectangles, the identify map object is already selected, and then we select a polygon here and it returns the feature information from your polygons. You can also reorder the layers you're focusing on, as I mentioned just now, and you can toggle the graticule on and off. These are larger than the IC's rectangles. I'll just remove those so you can see. And you can also take a measurement to show distance between points using the ruler icon. I will just remove this. When you click the ruler, an orange box will appear at the bottom, and any distance you measure will be shown in kilometers. So I will just make a measurement from one polygon to another. To finish measuring, you just double click, and then your line will remain, and it says that the distance is 286.77 kilometers. You can also show the latitude and longitude of a position using this icon here on the left. When you click this, you get another flashing orange box at the bottom to draw your attention to the data displayed there. You can use Control and C and copy and paste your mouse latitude into a Word document to use later. As you move around the map, you can see the latitude and longitude changing. So to turn this function off, you just click back on the button. As it goes back to white, that means it's not selected. To search for datasets in a defined area after you've identified where you want to search using reference layers, you can use the Geographic search button, which is the pencil in a box, to draw a bounding box which automatically transfers the coordinates into a search query. So I'll just bring this one back and I'll draw a box over here, and you can see the location information has automatically entered the geographical bounding box fields. If you click search, it will bring back all the data sets within that bounding box, and we have 163 in this instance. If you have also searched and returned metadata you are interested in from the catalogue, you can also export those metadata as GeoJSON files or GML by clicking on these icons. You can see if I click that, it has triggered a download. And the orange bounding boxes that have appeared in your geographical bounding box represent the extent of each dataset described by the metadata. It's also handy to note that you can save this map as an image at any time. If you right-click and press Save Image As, you can save it as a PNG file. So let's move on to adding your own WMS URL. We go back to our reference layers. I will just uncheck the geographic search. If you go to Add External Layer in the top left, here you can cut and paste a Get Capabilities WMS URL into the manually specified WMS server URL if you have a URL that you would like to view. The example I'm going to use here is the GeoCode WMS Get Capabilities URL, which I found by asking Google to find GeoCode WMS. GeoCode stands for the Generalized Bathymetric Chart of the Oceans. So scrolling down, I came across the link, and I will copy and paste it now into this and hit return. So now you see a list of GeoCode layers that you can choose from, and we have a layer preview box here. So before adding them to the main map, we'll just have a little look at what we've got. So there are little eye icons on the left-hand side before the checkbox, and if you click on these, you can see the different layers. You can view just the UK. You can change the color of the background. That might help with your search. And you can toggle the coastlines. You can double click to zoom in. And then to reset, click Show World again. Once you've chosen the layers you'd like in the layer preview, then it's just a case of checking the box. I'll click some random ones here, and then you press Add Layer. and it will say added 3 layers to the map. Let's have a look at where they are. So now we have, this is the geographic bounding box from earlier, but we have GeoCo overlaying it too. So if you have a specific shapefile that you would like to view, you just need to select upload. And if you choose your file, I looked up marine protected areas shapefile in Google, and I found a shapefile for the UK offshore MPA. And this is just after a few clicks on the JNCC website. A shapefile is a popular vectored data format for storing the location, shape, and attributes of geographic features in GIS and comprise several files. So you need to upload the whole zip file. With this app, you have to make sure that in the top level of the zip folder, there's not a folder within a folder, or else it won't load. So select upload, and this might take some time. So please be patient. You might have some really large files in there. And then it will appear in your uploaded shapefiles. This is one I uploaded earlier. And then you click Add Shapefile and Preview in the Add Layer window. So just as before, you just choose it from your shapefile because you just uploaded it. And then in the layer preview, we can see it's pink here. I will select it and add the layer. And then I can see it in the map. If you would like further help from us, or you have a query or observation, please don't hesitate to contact us. Our email is inquiries@medin.org.uk, or you can use the contact form, which is in the top right-hand corner of the MEDIN portal homepage.